gotta fix my triggers on a couple of these 330s that I had in Tennessee. We're back in New York, so we gotta go back to New York laws. Triggers have to be wired together, slid over, all that. We're just in here. This is a big hunting property. A guy that owns it's out of Pittsburgh. So there's a couple hundred acres here. It's all creek bottom. There's 2 or 3 colonies of beavers further up this drainage that I know of that are on private property. The one place I can't get a hold of the guy. The other place they say they don't cause a problem. This whole bottom in here, all the way down past them hemlocks, there's beavers all down through here. There's several places down through this drainage that I've trapped over the years that still has more beavers in it. It's a never-ending supply. I think in this whole drainage, there's probably about 6 miles through here that has beavers, and there's 4 places that I know of that will not allow anyone to trap. So it's just a revolving door of beavers. Every year there's beavers here, every year they come back. I always trap these beavers in the springtime because there's, driving in here, there's shooting houses all over the place. They're always in here deer hunting, so to not cause any problems for them, I just wait till spring. Get our triggers all fixed before we head in. I'm not going to set a ton of traps in here. I will set a few muskrat traps in here just because I know there's some rats in here. I think the 1 year out of this, there's probably about a 4-acre little swath right here that we'll actually trap. I think the 1 year I caught 30 some rats out of that little spot. I don't want to carry my setters down there with me. It's one less thing to carry. Alright, we're going to put a beaver set in here. There's some, actually I'm sitting on top of it. There's some peeled sticks and stuff up in here where they're coming up on here and eating. There's some chewed off sticks back here. There was another spot back here I could have set. You can't set them all. This upper section right here, when we were in here earlier in the year and looked, it's really just one colony of beavers. There's another colony down a little ways. But this upper section, we had this, I'm pretty sure we had this completely wiped out last year. So, just gonna use our H stand. Bridger 330s. We're back in New York, so we got to make sure we slide these over to the side. They're all straight, all that good stuff. All right. So I got asked on a private message, and I got asked on YouTube, a YouTube video, why I don't close these, or about closing these up. I just don't. These ones, the way these ones I have right here are, I don't know if you can see, they're actually closed up. I mean, you could wire them together. Some of them are bent different, so you can just connect them. Mine aren't. And I just don't, I don't care that much. All right, we just had a bunch of melt over the last few days. We had some rain a couple days ago, so this water is up a little bit from where it would be. So I'm going to get this out here. I want that to be lined right up with this run. These are snare poles. I'm just using them as stabilizers in here. I don't have, you gotta find a couple of sticks just to block that down. I want to put something over it for some kind of a dive stick. I might have to come back and do it. All right, I just went and grabbed some sticks just to kind of fence this down a little bit, just because the water is up a little more than it normally would be. I'm going to stick this across for a dive stick for right now. Once the water goes down, it won't be as big of a deal. Want to make sure your sticks are dead, otherwise they tend to come up missing. So the only thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put a little bit of a food lure up here. These beavers have been iced up for a little bit, so some fresh food would be good. They've been chewing on some of this. I don't really know what it is. We call it crick willow, or there's red brush and stuff up along here. I'm just going to smear a little bit of that food lure up here. And then we're going to go put in, I'm going to go down on a dam here. In New York, I can put in 110s on a beaver dam. You can put DPs 110s. We don't have an otter season on this side of New York, so you can't set certain traps within 15 foot of a beaver dam, but I can set a 110 in there. A lot of these old dams have lots of little trails going back and forth over them, usually with the rats. So I am gonna jump in there and try to see if I can't catch a couple muskrats. Today's Sunday, season closes on Wednesday, so we'll see what we can do. All right, so I'm allowed to set a 110 on a beaver dam here. This isn't much of a beaver dam, but there is a little bit of a kind of a flow through here. We've had good luck with these in the past. So I'm just gonna stick a 110 in here. I'm gonna shove this down in there to stabilize it. Catch my finger. Yeah, we can't tear these dams out or do anything like that to them, but we can set a trap on them. So I'm gonna set this right here, maybe. I do need to find another little stick just to help stabilize this thing. So that's all I'm gonna do. It's nothing fancy. We catch in this spot, we've caught quite a few rats like that in the past. Some years there's more rats in here than others. So we'll see. I haven't seen any huts in here yet, but we just got here. So our primary focus is to catch some beavers. So that's what we're gonna try to do. Another little channel coming down out of here. This little beaver, this little, whatever you want to call it, has been here for years. I've caught quite a few mink off of here. There's always a little channel through here. So we're just going to stick a 110 in here. See if we can pick up another mink, maybe a muskrat, whatever. Traps will be here for a couple days. Season ends Wednesday, it's Sunday. So we'll see what happens. All right, so the pond up there, the hut's actually on the other side of that. You come in here, I don't know if you can see, there's a bunch of air bubbles under here going down into this other pond over here, and there's a narrow spot right there. So pretty simple. I'm gonna bust through this ice. It's not real thick, inch maybe, and it's pretty bad ice. It's been pretty warm. It's in the 50s today. So right in that narrow spot right there, I am gonna set myself up another 330. Once again, I've been on this swamp multiple years, so I kind of know where to look for these spots. It gets easier after you trap the same spot year after year, but like I said, you can see the air bubbles. I don't know how well you can see them, but you see they're going up through crossovers right there in the dam. So it's pretty easy, pretty simple. So you don't need to make this any harder than it is. Benefits of being a fat guy. All right, I'm gonna put a 220 in here for rats, and I'm gonna stick another one right behind where Linda is. Usually when I set this channel for rats, I double set it. There's another smaller pond back up here that used to be covered in rat huts. I don't see a bunch of rat huts on there, but I can see up there on the beaver dam where the rat looked like rats were going back and forth over it. There's some beaver activity up in here, but hopefully I'm not going to put a dive stick or anything in here, so hopefully they stay out of these. I did find a second hut, probably about 50 yards over there. There's a nice channel. I normally would put a 330 in the end of this channel right here, but I only have one 330 left with me, so maybe tomorrow I'll put one in there when I come in and check these. But there's another channel like this over just above that hut, probably 25-30 feet above that. There's a nice pinch point, so that'll let me stay within my, outside of my 15 feet, still let me stick my trap in there. And then I'll set this channel with a 330 tomorrow. So I'm just going to stick this in the bottom. It's kind of bowled out, and then I'm going to use these snare poles. I'm going to stick them in. Beaver or something comes up, I kind of want him to go over top of that trap, not in it. So so that's all I'm going to do there. Then I'm just going to go around behind Linda, like literally right behind Linda, so she can just turn around and grab another trap. Just going to put a 160 up here. Trying to see exactly where I want to put it. I think I'm going to put it right here. That'll let me still stay 15 feet. Well, no, because I'm getting too close. So I'm going to stick a 160 here. I only have one more 220 in there. And that one didn't want to stay set. I have to scrape the dip out of the dog. I didn't bring anything with me to do it. So we'll stick the 160 in here, right in the bottom. I don't wear gloves doing this. It is pretty warm today, but I still don't wear gloves. This water's cold. You watch some of the video, you'll see later that been knocking ice off of it. I just cannot find a pair of water gloves that I'm comfortable wearing. So I always end up with wet hands doing this. So I'll stuff that there. We'll stick something there. So that's done. There's another trap behind Linda. The only other thing I see that I'm gonna set right here, so I'm not gonna drag the sled all the way back over there. I'll actually probably leave the sled right here tonight. Maybe just carry a few of the traps out with me. I'm gonna go set that beaver trap, and I think that's pretty much. I might drag it out of here just in case I see anything else I want to set on the way out for maybe some muskrats or something. There's a little bit. We did see a couple muskrat. We did see a couple muskrat huts up there, so maybe I'll go over there. Same thing with that. New York, you gotta be 5 feet from a beaver hut. You can't set on the huts here. So we'll go look at it, see what it looks like, see if they look active or not. But our main purpose here is to trap these beavers. So that's what we're here to, what we're gonna focus on.